Okay, and here we are. Good afternoon, folks, and welcome to the Smudcast. This is what number are you now? It's been a while. 926, I want to say. Is that the right number? Yes, it is.
Yep.
Alrighty. We're watching the Batman's No-Kill Rule is Mentally Retarded, a rant, all in caps. And in case you don't know who does the rants, this is the Rageaholic. And have we covered a video? I think we did. I think we might have covered his video a few years back.
Yeah, it's Razor Fist.
It is Razor Fist, you're right. And this is a 19-minute video. It was out a year ago. It has almost 200,000 views. Good for him. And I don't know exactly what he's going to argue, aside from he doesn't like the idea and he's going to just make fun of Batman. But I think any one of us know the story of Batman. We can tell why Batman doesn't kill and why that makes a compelling character. And that's the beauty of Batman. His unique thing, his special thing is not all his tools, not his cool vehicles, and all his amazing martial arts. It is his desire to be better than his criminals and to save them. He wants to save Gotham, and that involves saving people's lives, even if they are criminals, and believing in a justice system, even if it is not very just or very efficient. Or
Believing in a justice system that actually works and isn't corrupt.
Yeah, it's also a huge psychological reason for not wanting to kill, in that there's many passages in the comics as well as I would say the movies. The animated ones I know have it. Was it the anthology one I really liked? The Gotham Knight, I think it's called. Arkham Knight?
The Arkham games do touch on it.
Yeah, and there's this one beautiful thing. I can't remember the name. It's the one with Cassandra, and she's in Calcutta or she's in India, and he's having a flashback, and he's already fallen down into the sewer, and he got shot in the chest or in the stomach. He cauterizes the wound, so he's still in pain, and he's trying to remember, how do I get through this pain? He has his flashback of Calcutta, but then it comes back, and he's in the gutter, in the sewer, and he's surrounded by guns, like all these discarded guns in Gotham. And he's called Alfred. Alfred comes to pick him up, and Alfred says, "Give me your hand, Master Bruce." And he's like, "I can't," because he's carrying all these guns. And the next scene,
isn't that the Gotham Knights storyline?
Sorry, it's the anthology one? Yeah, the way that it works is
that's Gotham Knight. That's Gotham Knights, isn't it?
Yeah,
I remember
it goes.
I remember it was in the animated movie.
Yeah, exactly. It goes from that anthology to the next anthology. So, or from that story to the next storyline. And he says, I vowed never to use a gun ever since that night my parents died. And you're like, oh, I didn't know that. I thought that was just, he didn't want to use guns. So it's about him never wanting to go through that. It's basically a form of trauma, never wanting anyone else to go through that, and him wanting to save people. And if you guys have ever played a non-lethal playthrough of any game, let's say Deus Ex is a good example of Human Revolution and Mankind Divided. There's only a few guns.
Or at the very least, played the Arkham games themselves. So it's like you'll see it firsthand.
Oh yeah, directly, yeah. But any game really, it's stealth where non-lethal is part of the gameplay.
Yeah, pacifist routes.
It is very specific. It is very hard compared to all the lethal options. So the lethal options, you have like a dozen guns, a dozen bombs, all kinds of things to do. But non-lethal makes things extremely difficult. So imagine Batman, who has like 1,000 ways to kill you because he knows every martial art imaginable, and all these gadgets and all these weapons. And he's like, no, I'm going to try and save this dude, even though he's a psychopath, or I'm going to try and stop this petty theft dude over here, even though he can be easily stopped with a bullet. But he's not going to do that. That's what makes him awesome.
Because he's above that kind of violence.
He's so good. He has the skills, the time, the dedication, and the reason to do so, and he does it. That's why we love Batman so much.
Yeah, it can definitely get ridiculous at times, but ultimately that it still gets the point across. It's like he is not going to stoop to their level.
Yeah, and everyone argues, well, why don't you just kill the Joker? Why don't you just kill this guy? This would end the story. It's like, well, yes, but it's not his character to do so. This is not what he wants to do. He wants to save. He doesn't want to kill.
Yeah, and part of Joker's goal is to prove that to Joker, Batman is no better than the criminals he puts away.
And
we know Bruce proves that he is above them.
Right, and in that sense, Joker wants Batman to kill him. He's kind of it kind of justifies Joker's existence.
To kill him specifically.
Yeah, because if Joker, he could jump off a building. He's like, yeah, I'm crazy. But he specifically wants Batman to throw him off the building or to do something to him to cause him to die.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the fight. And that's kind of the whole storyline of Batman is him versus the Joker or a version thereof that challenges Gotham and he tries to save it. So
yeah, that's why Batman versus Joker is such a significant part of comic book history at this point, because of that. After certain points, because of that specific moral struggle.
Right, and we could argue the logic of just, well, this would be a lot safer if you just kill him and eliminate a threat. It's like, that's true. That would be totally logical, and it would defeat the purpose of having the Batman. It would defeat the purpose of using fear and having a vigilante that is on a level beyond what a criminal would expect to face. So is it crazy? Yes. There's definitely some psychosis involved, some high degrees of trauma. And when you're talking about the criminal element, of course, there's violence. So these are all interesting stories. You could argue that this keeps the story going because there's never, ever a death of the villain. It's always going to be the Batman's rogues gallery just keeps getting bigger and bigger until, Ra's al Ghul takes a vacation and stops coming back to Gotham for whatever reason.
Ra's, but yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Ra's al Ghul? Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah, Ra's.
Jeez. I always forget that. All right. Anyway.
I mean, we do have to take into consideration that certain versions of Batman do kill.
Yeah, there are a few out there. There's I know, obviously, there's 89 kills a couple times to some of the thugs.
And returns.
And there's also the Grim Knight, the Batman Who Laughs, so on and so forth.
And also the very early Batman comics.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
The Golden Age comics as well. Yeah, thank you.
He shoots people.
Yeah. Yeah, but after a certain point, that it became a core aspect of the character to have the no-kill rule.
Yeah, and it works with
a lot of good stories have come out of that version of Batman, that specific interpretation.
Yeah. Oh yeah, well you have like the Adam West version of the live action stuff. Like that's all just fun. It's just silly, cartoony, bunch of adults.
That was the Silver Age, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean sometimes it works just because it's not designed for kids. You don't want to have a bunch of adults blowing people away like a spaghetti western in the 1950s or 60s. So it's like, all right, what can you do, and how can you make it fun for kids?
So but also at the same time acknowledging that the Batman we know now hadn't fully formed yet at that point.
What they were going to do with him, the same way what they were going to do with Superman exactly, until they neutered him and made him more believable, more focused, I would say. That was the 70s, I think, and then the weirdness began near the end of the 80s, early 90s with Superman. But these things happen in comics. It's not unexpected. Anyway.
I'm expecting, especially looking at this screen, that he's going to bring up the shadow quite a bit.
Yes, he does do that. He does like the shadow a lot because to him,
which remind me, wasn't Shadow one of the inspirations for Batman?
He was the prototype, or at least the first iteration, and then Batman came after. Right? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, here we go.
Alone, blinding clinquence of the Gotham City skyline, the Dark Knight.
What happened here? 1 second. Where's my...
Alone amid the blinding clinquence of the Gotham City skyline, the Dark Knight descends from a rooftop like a winged paleolith of the ancient world and lays waste to an inexplicably Caucasian mugger mid-assault, and before the street tough's widening eyes, he unfurls himself, the webbed cape billowing about his darksome silhouette. The Batman perches atop a conveniently placed gargoyle and proclaims, "I am vengeance! I am the night! I am ethically averse to executing inveterate, unrepentant murderers whose hands are freshly caked with the gore of Batman family members." Ladies, boys, lady boys, the Batman no-kill rule is retarded. Not harmless, folksy 90s playground insult retarded. We're talking helmet bedecked, hide the rubber cement, floaties in the shower, ooba-dee, ooba-da, dim, whittery. The kind of retarded where you want your
I'm
first
not
time
sure what
to
that
be
meant.
special, so you bang your girlfriend on a short bus. Yet every
Yeah, that was like a bunch of words. I'm like, whoa, sir.
Okay. We get it. You don't like it. Move on.
Yeah.
It's his style of talking everything. So I'm gonna let him slide a bit.
All right. Well, when we do bring up the adult versions of Batman live action, we have to say the Tim Burton 1989, where Batman does kill inadvertently, whether it's not a big deal, but it does obviously happen. Whether they fall off a bell tower or
Well, I mean, at the end, doesn't he just like actively throw Joker off the
No,
the
not
roof?
really.
Oh,
He punches him. Joker falls, then drags him over, and then at the very end, when he's flying away, he shoots a grappling gun.
yeah.
With a gargoyle, which you can just say Batman didn't expect to break off and send him plummeting to his death.
Yeah,
The best example is in Batman Returns, when he literally shoves dynamite into a henchman's trousers, throws him down a hole, and watches it blow up.
yeah, or
That's him straight up killing somebody.
when he has his the Batmobile, and he lights someone on fire with the jet engine. And
Yeah.
It's like that guy's probably dead. Yeah. Anyway.
Wally Wikipedia essay on YouTube swings in on a bandolier, insisting the nascent gun-toting flagrantly plagiarized from the Shadow version of Batman, you know, the one from the 40s.
Is that echoed from me or is that from you? I'm trying to figure that out.
That's probably from me. My bad.
All right. So what's going on?
Is effectively a narrative seedling of the Caped Crusader, and not to be construed with a complex cultural institution who cries about the concept of murder while running over criminals with a multi-ton tank and firing more mercy missiles than Bronson at the end of Death Wish 3. Oh, I could never wield the godlike power to cease a hoodlum's lung activity.
Okay, that's not really fair.
Isn't it at this point in the game he's under the Joker toxin?
Yeah, this scene is later in the game where he's getting more and more desperate. And also, he doesn't kill this guy with the damn tire.
Also, people pointed out that it is pushing it a little bit with the hose electrics done when they get hit by a car. But also, it's a video game where people aren't great at controlling cars.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure electrocuting people on the road just a normal gameplay. I don't even think that's canon. That's just that's just how they hand wave away. How you're gonna get through the guys on the street when you drive over them? Well, you shock them out of the way. That's it. Who cares?
Mm-hmm.
I'm farling my Bat APC down Broadway with my non-lethal electric force field engaged, watching hobos baked on blue fentanyl get launched like a trebuchet projectile by the Bat Mercy Mobile and split their skulls and spines on the non-lethal sidewalk below. At which point, regular as rain, advocates of the no-kill Batman BS inevitably retreat into mendacious absurdisms. The music may be unfamiliar, but I guarantee you know the lyrics by heart. Bruh, so like, you can accept that a grown man wears a bat outfit and beats up strangers, but like, can't suspend your disbelief about the Batmobile? Quick query, what year did these dong holsters misbelieve it to be? Because out here in the land of burritos and bath salts, last time I checked, it's 2024. A year where drag queens wear weirder transvestments to read storybooks to Boy Scouts, never mind while assaulting anyone. On a New York subway, a bat suit.
Transition.
That was weird.
No. Yeah, that was one of those where you just like everyone just sat there like, okay. To answer his question, we don't really respond like that. People respond like we do and say, well, listen, this, and this in regards to the Arkham game. And then also bring up the fact that, yeah, different versions of Batman have killed people, but the no-kill rule is the main one people go for in like
the no-kill rule is the standard for most interpretations of Batman.
Yeah.
All right.
Like,
Like part of the no kill rule being the standard for most interpretations is just because of the multimedia expansion of DC after a certain
Yeah.
point. And they just stuck with that for most versions just because in terms of on an entertainment level, that just became easier to do.
Yeah.
Really.
Bear
If
in
you
mind
really
as
think
well,
about it, that's what it is.
even in the animated series, the Joker quotation marks dies in a lot of his appearances. I mean, obviously he comes back, but that's part of the thing of you can't kill the Joker off, which it's just a cartoon trope. But he falls into a shark tank and then supposedly gets eaten. He gets knocked into a chimney stack and stuff, and then finally he gets shot through the chest by Tim Drake.
Yeah. That's the
Or
one that
watch the
actually does
sensor
him in.
build and
Yeah, that's the one that actually does him in.
yeah.
With
But,
yeah, sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead. I'd finish my point.
No, yeah,
my
but I
point,
was gonna say it's like the animated series, the animated universe Joker takes credit for being one of the most physically resilient versions of the Joker, and because it took all that, and it took all the way up to getting one right in the chest to actually do him in, because it's just he had taken so much in his entire time of being the clown prince of crime, and it got to that point, and he took so much. Jeez, credit where it's due for that one.
Quite a few villains do end up offing themselves usually in these sort of things. Right. Oh, also, as Tyler Preston says, depends on which version of the Batmobile we're talking about. Yeah, I know. He's just gone straight into Arkham Knight, where everyone brought.
Yeah.
Yeah,
which we get the controversy with it, but at the same time, it's like it just that we get that they had to do certain things in the plot and in gameplay just to hand wave certain things away. And it's like at this point, it's like who cares anymore?
Well, this is the Arkham universe where the latest iteration was the death of all the Justice League. So it's
no, that's Suicide Squad.
Yeah, but what do you mean? What are you talking about? The last game was Arkham Knight.
Yeah, but wasn't that taking place within the same universe as Arkham?
No, I don't want to. I don't want to think that.
Yeah, okay. so it is, but no one wants to accept the fact that that's what happened. Okay.
Well, even in that no kill rule thing, I think someone mentioned it in the chat before. There are exceptions because he ripped Solomon Grundy's heart out or something in Arkham City.
Yeah,
and he pretty much chopped up Clayface and let the some of the mechanics of the Lazarus Pit just absolutely crush Clayface.
Okay, mind you, Grundy's already pretty much undead. He was only resurrected by Penguin with the damn machine, and Clayface was already beaten by Batman, and Batman didn't do anything else to him after getting the cure for the.
I know that, but it's one of those things. But like his no kill rule sort of gets stretched with stuff. So anyhow, anyway, yeah. Right. I just realised we've got 60 more minutes of Razor Fist's style of talking, and I'm sort of regretting it.
All right.
Would be business casual, and it's a banner day that concludes with a mere beating. Put it this way, Jeffrey Toobin wore a weirder outfit while beating himself. If my disbelief were any more suspended in 2024, a Baltimore steamer would crash into the damn thing. Let's just come right out with it, folks. Batman killed more people than Pol Pot in the beginning, with Bob Kane later admitting that they had Bruce Wayne boofing bad guys with a bat-gat in the early days for no other reason than they assumed it would be okay because, and I quote, the Shadow had a gun and he killed people. Now, we've already established this fact in
although mind you, keep in mind that is not Golden Age is not the same Batman from as the one from Silver Age onwards. They literally even mention in some of the Crisis events that the original Golden Age Batman did canonically die at the end of his run in the Golden Age before the transition to the Silver Age. And that has stayed true in any crossovers and bring up the Golden Age. For fuck's sake, they even brought over Huntress from the Golden Age and made her a different character because of the switch up. But anyway.
For the few coming in late, Batman, for those as yet unaware, is perhaps the most profound example of commercial plagiarism in contemporary history, and certainly the most successful. Most creators who steal do so much more subtly, swiping a style, concept, or character.
So why are we talking about this now? I thought we were talking about Batman per se. Not.
I swear, this is going to be a video where it turns into like his Witcher video about.
Oh right, yeah.
What's his name?
That other story with the white-haired dude with two swords that goes around slaying monsters. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's like, right, the Shadow uses guns and he's a vigilante with a hat, a mask, and a cape, like Zorro. But you won't hear him say Zorro, you know, the Shadow was plagiarized off of Zorro. You know. You see, sorry, yeah, it just annoys me with his plagiarism argument. It's like I can make more and more like arguments against him. It's like we get it, you like your pulp stuff, and you want that to be successful, but let's move on. Explain why the no-kill rule is wrong.
Right.
Workshop cribbed the Chaos symbol and Chaos Army in Warhammer, and they crapped out a camera negative Elric and Melna Benet they dubbed Malice Darkblade. And this, at least in noxious nerdy circles, is considered one of the most rapacious examples of plagiarism in pop culture. Yet even this was less obvious an offense than Bill Finger and Bob Kane's cribbing of Batman. Rare indeed is the event that a story is copied plot point for plot point, character for character, and as if to draw a thick Compton black underline beneath the theft, interior artwork was then traced from the very same pulp story being stolen. But that's precisely what occurred with the birth of Batman. That reason, and that reason alone, is why a machine gun wielding Batman offed his enemies in his earliest appearances. And then DC caught wise. By the early to mid-40s, the newest comic craze was kid sidekicks. Robin was introduced in early 1940 in an overt attempt to exploit it, and out came the belt sander to polish down Batman's roughest, shadow-esque edges. And so editorial interceded, insisting that Batman cease the assassinating. That's it. The entire creative process behind the now ineffable Batman no-kill concept. Not a deep and philosophical examination of the deeply entrenched traumas of Bruce Wayne's youth. Not a socially conscious polemic on the cycle of urban gun violence. DC wanted that kitty cash, so they cut.
Point this out. You know, in the 60s, when the comic book rules came in, what was the urban gun crime?
What, in the States?
Yeah. I'm assuming, due to demographics, there weren't as many ghettos as there are now. So I do apologise that the writers in the 1960s didn't think far enough ahead to think, oh, we're going to have to think of the degradation of urban centres. That will happen in the 1980s.
Yeah, oops.
I'm sure there was an increase post-World War II for whatever reason of all the ex-people coming back from the war and trying to find work and other immigrants coming in, and that just naturally occurs to have an increase in gun violence or violence in general. So
yeah, but I'm talking about the way what he's on about with the urban gun crime stuff is something that's inherently the 1980s onwards. Something that the 1960s didn't suffer with.
I would have to look at the ratios between the population and the density, as well as the accessibility to weapons in an urban area like New York or San Francisco or whatever we're measuring. But I don't know. Like this is just the history of how the original version of Batman came about, and that's fine. But that's not what we're getting at here. We don't really care about what happened during the 50s and 60s, per se. We care about them.
Well, the thing is, the writers were given strict rules back in the 50s and 60s to cut out, violence and crime. I mean, it's one of the reasons why the Joker disappeared from the comics for ages. And the writers were able to work in this no-kill rule to be part of the character, and other writers have built upon it, which class as a good thing, that people used what was meant to be a hindrance and turned it into a strength.
Right. Well, this is what we do whenever we have a writing scenario and we say, okay, our character is amazing. Let's cut off something about them. Let's cut off a family member, a friend, a gift, like anything like we do in writing class. We say, okay, this is too good, or this is too much fun, or this is too awesome, or the character is too powerful. Let's give it a limitation. It's not just the character. It could be the setting. It could be the world. It could be technology, a magic system. It doesn't matter. And we limit it. And the reason why we do that is to make it more digestible. Say, okay, how does this thing work? How does Batman do what he's doing? He just doesn't have unlimited money, although that's the general idea. He's a billionaire, so everything he can do, he has a solution for that's technological, for example. That's kind of what we just go with, not just for him, but like Tony Stark or whomever. So it's kind of like, all right, he's super rich. Great. But what if there's an actual thing about him that he has to wear the cape and the cowl? It's something intrinsic to his character. And the Batman from then, at least from the 50s, never explained that. What was the point? And that gives the writer, if they're giving a limitation by the publisher or whomever, give me a story why he's wearing the cape and the cowl. Why doesn't he use guns anymore? Why doesn't he use guns, period? That's part of writing a story, ranking a character, and defining their characteristics. So I don't see how this is a bad thing per se. It can be, but this is him explaining the history of Batman's like, great. How is this good or bad? You're just saying back in the day, Batman used to shoot people, and now the new iteration of Batman doesn't. I'm like, so what? What's your point? You've refined the character's been refined since then, as all comic books from DC were, as well as Marvel back then. Anyway.
The Cape Crew crank off. To anyone at all rational, this is the beginning and end of the damn debate. Yet to the terminally online and insistently stupid among us, this is instead an invitation to interpret, misinterpret, and reinterpret every aberrant twinge of a fictitious character's retconned origin. But the truth remains unchanged by your chimp-outs. When the World Wide Webophiles indulge in this apologia, when they ride to the rescue freshly armed with an Adobe After Effects suite and more jump cuts than Max Headroom having a schizophrenic breakdown, and deign to infer intent from authors who outright admitted they copied The Shadow, it's nothing more than cataclysmic cope.
No, we have no interest in The Shadow. We really don't. It doesn't influence our understanding of the character or our aesthetics of what makes Bruce tick. It's just, you either like the Batman as an idea, or you go, this is kind of goofy, I'm not going to read this. So it's been going on for decades, almost a century now. So there's something about the Batman that people keep liking. I think they're making a second The Batman film with the guy from the Vampire Story. Patterson, yeah. So it's keep going. It's going to keep going, and I don't know if they're going to have a no-kill rule with him as well. I think they still do. So I'm not seeing an inherent problem with this, aside from him not liking the history of ripping off another character, which to me is like whoop-de-doo. We do that in media. In fact, that happens in video games several times a year. So you talk about side-scrollers back in the day in the 80s. Everyone was ripping off everyone else. Then we got new technology. We got 16-bit graphics. Oh, wow, we can do mode 7. We can spin around. We can rotate a plane to make it look 3D, even though it's still 2D. There's all kinds of techniques they used to make the Super Nintendo work slightly differently than the the Sega Master System or the Sega Genesis at the time. So this is nothing special. This happens with media, with storytelling, video games, movies, cartoons.
The thing is, as well, I'm going to add, the comic book industry was told by law to change stuff. It wasn't just, you might change a few things. It was the government told them to change stuff, or else they get fined and censored and everything. Right. So they really have to work around things. And
it's the same with Superman though. Like people stole from Superman because he was like the quintessential strongman character in comics. He was the biggest one. So people started doing their own thing from that. And same with DC, even ripped off their own character to do their own thing with other superheroes to see if they could do something different. So being told what to do, giving yourself limitations, and ripping off other ideas is the most basic creative process we've been using. Writers in science fiction, for example, used to write in magazines because that's all they were allowed to write and have a job toward. And they would get paid by sometimes the word, if not the letter, because ink was expensive. So you had to make a compelling story on page 27 at the end of the book. And that was a magazine on, I don't know, whatever kids read back then in a magazine. I don't even know. So this was normal for science fiction writers. And you expect some of the same stuff to happen in the same genre, so whether it's science fiction or urban fantasy or superhero stuff. So I don't care that we take techniques from video games into other games that do a different flavor, or hey, this thing has a cover. It's called a cover shooter. Oh wow, it doesn't bother me. It shouldn't bother you. It's just a technique. It's just a basis for an idea. And writers have been doing this for forever. I mean, we could go back to Homer and all the playwrights that ripped off him in ancient Greece if we really wanted to. So it's nothing special.
Batman policy couldn't have been any more about commercial convenience if the Batcave had a hot dog rack and a Slurpee machine. But therein lies a fact that few dare ever acknowledge. See, the miserably false binary Bat fans then forward is that without the no-kill cuck in a cape, the alternative would be the Shadow.
Okay, I don't care. Can we just get to the argument here?
Maybe the weirdest single...
I feel that this entire thing is not about the no-kill rule, but an excuse for Razorfist to be angry that the Shadow's not very popular.
Didn't he already make a video about the Shadow like a few years back, and that was that?
Oh, I don't know.
I know he talked about that, and he mentioned the one with The Witcher or what have you. So I'm like, all right.
Elric of something.
Yeah, of some fantasy genre book he read back in high school or whatever. It's like, yeah, good for you. I don't care. This does not bother people. It does not bother me that this anime had an iteration 30 years ago, or it ripped off a video game, or this other iteration of an isekai is like the 30th other version of an isekai from last semester or from last season.
Someone's also made a good point. Superman didn't fly in his first appearance. He just jumped.
Yeah. So what? I mean, it's like, yeah, it was a rough start. People didn't have the idea clarified, nor did they know it was going to sell. They had no idea if it was going to work. So I don't get the big deal. Superman was based off the strongmen in circuses. So he dressed up or the costume of his was like a strongman from circuses. So it's like, yeah, that's the inspiration. Fine. Who cares? He's an alien from another planet with a whole other culture and backstory. Now he is. That's the thing we care about, not the first version of it. That's like saying I really, really care about Super Mario Brothers back in the 80s. It's like the most important thing ever in Nintendo. It's like, well, in the 80s, maybe for arcades.
There's also the original Donkey Kong, but yeah.
Yeah, there's a few others, but we have evolved past that. We have well went beyond the technology and the times.
We've evolved past it without forgetting it.
No, we haven't forgotten it, but it's not like, oh, well, back in the day, everything was based around Mario and Donkey Kong. You're like, yeah, you're right. For a few years.
But what I mean is like, what I mean is the fact that it actually just occurred to me that it's like, there is not a lot of the golden age roots of Batman that are really brought up nowadays. It's either the modern stuff or Silver Age stuff being brought back.
Yeah.
Golden Age is just like more of an afterthought nowadays, which is kind of sad.
Yeah, with the one I saw was the Brave and the Bold, which they used, I think, the 40s or the 50s style.
Well, that's still the Silver Age.
That's Silver Age. Okay, so
yeah, Golden Age is 30s and early 40s, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right.
Mind you, like there's been versions that have brought bits and pieces from the Golden Age stuff back every so often, not just for Batman, but just in general. But it's barely anything compared to the Silver Age and Modern Age stuff.
All right.
Flex in the known universe. So, without brandishing his Colt 45 and Doman douchebags, Batman would be reduced to a character more popular at his height in the 30s and 40s than Batman is even today? Cool story? Don't believe me? Here, have some ratings. This is what the Shadow Radio Show was pulling down every episode from the early...
That's fantastic. I'm really glad.
Yeah, the people
Shadow did that. Excellent.
Yeah, the 40s was a really awesome time for radio dramas of vigilantes in urban settings. I'm good. I'm happy the Shadow did well.
Yeah, but that's not the point here. You talk about why his no-kill rule is mentally retarded.
Yeah,
I don't care about the Shadow.
To mid-40s, long after Orson Welles had left the building to make his bones in Hollywood. Meaning, this wasn't even the show's commercial peak. For perspective, Game of Thrones averaged between a 13 and a 14. But don't take my word for it.
Why is this about ratings?
About the
I have no idea.
If he was alive in the 40s or 50s, dollars to donuts, he can still recite the opening from memory. Granted, most millennials think the Shadow's an edgy cartoon hedgehog these days, and the cause of such, they pronounce with a confidence that can only come from absolute ignorance of the subject, is that the Shadow...
No, it's not ignorance of the subject. It's just... there's something called niche, right? And certain things become a niche subject. So I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry that you like niche subjects. I don't know what else. I don't know what else to say for this.
Yeah.
Just like how the original Batman without a no-kill rule became niche.
The thing is, though, Razor, they made a movie with Alec Baldwin, and it didn't do very well. So,
well, just think about it. The idea of a guy who dresses up in the middle of the night to scare people, and not to kill them, but to stop them from what they're doing or to do detective work, as opposed to killing people, which is pretty much what the cops would do if they do any kind of raid on something. There's something sophisticated about Batman over a guy with a bunch of guns who's going to use lethal force.
It also, I'll be honest with you, the Shadow's got loads of different things that are so complicated that the average person who reads it and watches it is thinking, okay. So it's just so weird. I've tried to read it, and I've watched that horrible movie, and it's so strange. And yeah, I can see why Batman was more popular.
Well, you could take the concept of the Shadow and I would say take any, I don't know, like a Dick Tracy or some sort of radio drama about a PI doing the same things, just not dressing up in a cape and a cowl. And you get to see...
Well, you could even have the Phantom?
Right, yeah.
That guy in that purple outfit.
Yeah, that was a movie as well.
Oh, it's a comic book as well.
Yeah.
From the 30s.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. Like you could take any, like the idea of a radio drama about, I don't know, detectives, PIs, Secret Service dudes, that would appeal to kids in a certain capacity. And why would that be? Mystique, mysticism maybe of the lifestyle. I don't know. There's lots of things for a kid to aspire and dream about. So to have someone like the Batman, which is a bit catchier than the Shadow, I would imagine, and have that image in your head as a radio drama or as a comic book, I don't know which would work better, but it depends on the narration, of course, how the person describes everything. So these things can work.
By the way, Smud, I just remembered. You thought the Brave and the Bold was based on the Golden Age stuff. There is one episode of that series that takes heavy inspiration from the Golden Age, and it is Chill the Night. It takes heavy inspiration from a Golden Age story about Batman confronting the killer of the Waynes.
Ooh, nice. That's not the Joe Chill storyline. That's something else, right?
It is the Joe Chill story. The one where Batman confronts him about the death of the Waynes.
I gotcha. I did not see that, but I obviously read some of that.
To the point where some of the dialogue is lifted directly from the original comic.
Oh, then I do know about it. Okay, good.
Like that's the one exception with that show, that it takes direct inspiration from the Golden Age.
I see. Okay, that's cool. I didn't know that. Check it out.
Race in 1911's mercilessly massacred all of his villains, while Batman's rogues gallery remains evergreen, upright, and above ground to his everlasting benefit. But my calculus textbook has fewer problems than this argument. First and foremost, I must have missed the meeting where it was decided Batman's villains hadn't died at least 11 times apiece. For crying out loud, Catwoman died 8 times in one movie alone. Second...
Yeah, that's kind of the joke with the whole idea.
Oh, man. Are we going to start talking about comic books and people dying?
Yeah, I know.
Are we really going to go down this way?
Yeah, it's a fun...
Especially with the character where that is specifically the joke.
Yeah.
But look at comic books, notorious for keeping people dead. If you die in a comic book, it's rules. You must stay dead. You're not allowed to come back.
I think that was also, if you want to bring up the comics code, I think that's a good way of describing why things are the way they were and how they sort of prolonged, and that's fine.
I mean, the comics code is part of the reason for why the Silver Age is the way it is.
Oh yeah, exactly, and why it kept going.
Well, the issue is he's about to start saying, oh, these characters have died numerous times. It's like, yes, in every comic book, that's the joys of the comic books. They just keep going. Also, the villains come back because they never found a body. It's a literal trope.
Yeah, if this was a single writer for 100 or 90 years, however long it's been going on, then it's like, all right, you can make that argument. That's kind of stale. No writer would do that. But you have hundreds of writers of Batman over the years. So they would do their own take on the Joker or Harley or whomever. So I don't see how this is a huge issue. This would happen in any media with the same characters being written by multiple writers. So I don't... Would they expect full continuity of every single event, and every writer that comes on board would have to read every issue to have this huge succession of events? I doubt it. It wouldn't work that way. So I think we have to respect comics for what they are. They are these creative outlets that happen every month, or at least happen every month, I think. And a new writer comes by and does their own spin. And that's why we have the beautiful world of canon. And in the DC world, I think it's Elseworlds, where they can do whatever they want, have a fun little go. And from there, it can spawn other stories or other serials. So that's the nature of it. It is supposed to be static. It is not supposed to be this ever-growing branch of stories that all interconnect. They disperse. They do not converge. Or they diverge, rather.
The shadow didn't die off because the concept got tired or he ran out of shitbirds to shoot.
You sure about that?
Even after the pulps folded shop and shuffled off to the glue factory, the shadow...
Even after the pulp shuffled off to the glue factory, it means it died off, didn't it? Because no one was interested.
Exactly. No one wanted to read it. They couldn't sell anymore. It closed up shop. That's all it goes. That's how all of them went.
Yeah. Entertainment moved to something else.
Yeah. Some seller of some product got that dollar from those kids or those dimes from those kids or those parents, and that was more attractive to them, and that's how it died off. That's how everything dies off.
Radio show went on for nearly another decade, and even after being canceled, was in reruns almost immediately.
Okay, so it's not a comic book, it's not a radio show. Good for them. We're not talking about radio shows per se. This is very specific. This is like arguing, well, Batman's still alive because it's on the movies. It's like, well, yeah, but Batman was a comic book. Are we arguing the comic book? Are we arguing the movie world? Are we arguing the video game world? What are we arguing now? Where's the no-kill rule? Is it comics? Which version? It's the video games, which version? Movies, which version, et cetera, et cetera. That's what we should be talking about, not the shadow. Who cares?
Where it remains even on podcasts and satellite radio stations to this day. The shadow went away because his copyright holders went out of business. Period.
What, are you joking? What the hell is this video?
I don't know. We're talking about the shadow for no reason. Who cares? He went out of business. You're right. You're right, Razorfist. We don't care. Good for the shadow. It had a run. Good for them.
Why is wait. Why is Razorfist arguing like I don't know, Red or Lindsay Ellis, like a woman? Because nothing makes sense. He's talking about 3 other things instead of the thing that there should be. And since you complain that way, I doubt he did in the 8 minutes before I joined.
He started off okay for the first 2 minutes. It was kind of rambling, but still, he was on topic. And then he just jumped to the shadow. We're like, oh.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
So the first 2 minutes is basically where his argument was done and over, and now he's just padding the video?
Now he's just bitching about the shadow being awesome and where everything started. And I'm like, you're right. Everything started with the shadow, and then it went away. Can we please get back to the point of the story, which is...
He's gonna be a really weird old uncle sitting on his
porch
with his alcohol.
Oh, God. He's going to be just one of those crazy people just screaming at the air about 50 different things, and everyone's like, okay, it's time to take your meds. Come on. Get back in your room, please.
That's not autism.
No, that's something else.
And he sold him to Condé Nast, Porter in 12 attempts. How incompetent are Condé Nast? Put it this way.
What is a Condé Nast? Is that a thing?
Oh, I don't know. He's talking about the shadow and the company going under, and I'm like, so why isn't the no-kill rule?
yeah, I'm waiting for that point of the video to come back.
There's a publisher called Condé Nast.
Is that what it is? I have no idea.
It's I don't know. Let's ask Wikipedia. I accidentally typed it the correct way.
Yeah, you did? That's great.
Yeah. But where is it? What is that from? Publisher. Oh, it's the publisher of Vogue.
Okay. Cool.
I don't know what else this word means.
All right. I was thinking of Hitochino Nest, which is a very good Japanese beer, but that's just me and my brain. Anyway.
Oh, how does it compare to Kirin?
Oh, it's actually
the only comparison I have.
It's very good. Actually, they have various flavors. It's hard to find. It's really good. Yeah.
Kirin is so weak. It just tickles your gum a little bit.
It depends on which you get, but I don't want to bring in Kirin Ichiban, which is good. I'm not saying it's a bad beer.
It's okay. It's okay. It's not something I would buy, but it's okay. It's
yeah.
Like it's cute. It's like this little Kirin, this little Japanese unicorn is going through your mouth, and it just tickles the top with its lightning horn. Or
Believe it or not, it tastes better in a mug. I've tried it in a what do you call a mug? Like a coffee mug, you know?
In a mug.
Yeah.
What, compared to what?
Compared to a glass. Or a can. Yeah, believe it or not, there's an official Kirin Ichiban mug. And if you use that...
A mug?
Yeah. Ceramic.
I know the glasses, which are like these Sekt glasses. So the
do a
white
search for
wine
ceramic Kirin mug, and you'll see what I mean.
Hell?
Yeah. It actually tastes sweeter for whatever reason. Couldn't tell you. Anyway.
Kirin mug. It's probably more interesting than Condé Nast.
The Rock genitals. At the height of his box office omnipresence, locked in to play the pulp's second most popular character, Doc Savage. And waited so inexcusably long to pinch out a script, he moved on from the project and made the biggest box office bunker buster of his career, African American Adam. Not only killing any future prospect for a Doc Savage cinematic effort, but damaging The Rock's brand irreparably, making any future attempts at such about as commercially...
I think The Rock has had a pretty long movie career. You could probably get several roles if he wanted. I don't think he's damaged his career at all. So, even if we have other stars that went into bombs that were millions or hundreds of millions of dollars in the hole, you can't blame them for starring in that. It's the writers, it's the production, it's a bunch of other things. So,
yeah.
Okay. And I'm just looking at these mugs from Kirin. There has been a whole range and history of them.
Yeah.
And some look like proper mugs, but there's this coffee mug thing.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
I feel violated looking at it.
I haven't seen that one. This is a standard looking.
It's disgusting.
Yeah, I haven't seen.
It's like your standard coffee cup with a print on it. It's like horrible.
No.
Why would you do that?
No,
there's these really pretty ones too.
Yeah. My brother, again, he goes to Japan. He goes to all not the factories, distillers, the brewers, and he got this mug. I was like, why did you get this mug? He's like, try it. And I'm like, all right. And it was actually made the beer better. I don't know why. I could not explain it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he went to those places where they have everything on display. It's really neat. Anyway, we're not talking about beer. Sorry. back to
at this point, it makes as much sense.
Yeah,
we're talking about Batman.
Batman, yeah. Where's Batman?
Does Batman bring beer?
About fucking Batman.
We're supposed to be talking about Batman.
Does he know that?
I don't think so. It's been 8 minutes, and yeah, he's forgotten the story. Anyway.
Viable as bottled butthole cancer. No company craps their commercial culottes quite like Condé Nast. Killing criminals didn't end the decades-long dominion of the Shadow. The incompetence of his copyright holders did. Look, even a bad writer can easily contrive a convenient narrative device to bring the baddies back from the Democrat voter rolls, no matter how hard Bats bumps them off. And as with the concept of the supervillain itself, in this, the creators of The Dark Knight were once again inspired by the Knight of Darkness, the Shadow. Not only didn't the Shadow assassinate every evildoer he came face-to-face matched with over his 2 decades of dominance, in many cases he actually redeemed and rehabilitated them, enlisting them thereafter as agents of the Shadow. In other cases, he took a crack at killing them, but for one reason or another, mortality didn't take. The Voodoo Master returned twice, Shiwan Khan and the Prince of Evil thrice, with a planned 4th return cooking in his creator's noggin at the time of his 1985.
Okay, can we stop this? This is like, what's the point of this? Where's the Batman in all this story? What are we doing? If he wants to make a video about the Shadow, say, this is me rambling about the Shadow and how much I hate Batman. I was like, great, let's watch that. But we're not. We're watching, why is the no-kill rule dumb? Why is it bad? Why does it make Batman a bad character? Why does it make bad storytelling, etc., etc.? I want to know why. Let me just speed this up. Maybe he's more comprehensible that way, or digestible at least.
I've actually just started playing some on my Xbox now because I'm bored of it.
Are you playing Batman by chance?
All right, let's.
No, I don't. I don't care about the Shadow. I honestly don't give a fuck about the Shadow. I have other things to do.
All right, let's speed this up.
by death. Ultimate Demise, the second of these, still boasted enough commercial cachet to be featured in the 1994 film version as the slant-eyed, small-genital Joker to the Shadow's symmetrically beaked Batman. And if the pulps hadn't ended along with the 40s, mark my words, one or all of these aspies would have came roaring back like a bad case of the clap regardless. Far from stalling the Shadow's creative or commercial momentum, this accelerated readership as it conferred the character and his stories with actual stakes. You couldn't just resurrect Ra's al Ghul from the Ra's al Ghul and call it a comic plot, you pricks. Walter Gibson was forced to actually explain himself and earn his paycheck. And on the commercial side, at 300 plus pulp novellas in under 2 decades at a rate of 2 a month for
Still, more Shadow. Amazing. I don't give a crap. Where's the frickin' Batman, sir? Let me speed this up once more. Twice as fast. Here we go.
Most of lesser pulp and comic clones, yes, like Batman, in the late 30s, profoundly failed to dethrone him. But boy, it's a good thing Batman stopped killing crimies. Otherwise, you might wind up with a continuity where, say the Joker had died in the electric chair twice, had his neck snapped 3 times, where every Robin bit the big one before they got better, and where both Batgirls Dunn had been killed before kicking out of their coffin like Hulk Hogan on a 2-count. Could you imagine a more repetitive, tiresome, bitch-made bore than a world where every member of Batman's rogues gallery had a higher body count than an OnlyFans slot, some of whom were his closest confidants and compatriots? A world where the Legion of Secret Supervillains dropped a sentient super nuke on the city of Bloodhaven, vaporizing millions in a microsecond, and Batman was still sobbing into his Selena Kyle hug pillow about how killing these crackheads would be an inexpiable violation of his cringy code. We witnessed 17 septillion variations of the same vapid Joker kidnaps a Bat family member and forces.
I'm sorry. What? What is this video?
I don't know.
I think we might actually be at a point where he's talking about Batman, so I would suggest maybe slowing it back down a bit.
He's just ranting, though. I haven't seen
He is actually talking about Batman stuff, I think.
No, all I got was, because I don't know if it's the speed or if Smud's actually skipping through, but it felt like every 5 seconds it was just going, and then crackheads, prostituting, that sort of, killing a child. I'm like, what? Hang on, this is going too fast for me now. But yeah, we get it. There's times when he should kill the Joker, but in those same stories, he explains why he doesn't do it. Like Under the Red Hood is a great example, because he goes, well, I'm not going to kill the Joker, because if I kill him, then what's stopping me killing everybody? And, you know, I'll just end up as bad as the people I'm putting away.
That is,
I would argue that Under the Red Hood is the definitive example for why he doesn't kill Joker specifically.
Right, and that's one of the arguments for why he doesn't kill. That's one of the examples of him coming face to face with that, and that was actually animated very well.
Also, not only coming face to face with the consequences of not doing it.
Right,
just Jason coming back and all hell breaking loose with him as the Red Hood.
I would see it as Batman being the last bastion of good, because with as much force and power as he uses, as he wields. And if Batman breaks away, the world is fucked.
Yeah.
That's the point. That's what he, in the end, is. And in a way, he does teach us that there are situations where his way does not suffice anymore. Where only the Punisher solves it. But as long as we have Batman, there's hope.
I think there's a good lesson to be learned on how to write characters that do kill and who don't. And that's, I think, the good contrast is the Punisher versus Batman, is that you can write good stories within a certain ethical frame properly to get the right whatever dramatic value you're going for. And with Batman, it's more of an ethical thing, like, okay, yes, there's action, there's gadgets, there's very specific windows or keyholes that Batman has to perform in order to stop someone. And that's why it's always interesting, because there's all these things against him that he could just pull a trigger and kill a guy, but he's not going to do that. He has to try very specifically with his gadgets and his psychology and understanding of the events. Whereas the Punisher he just needs a line of sight. He just needs to eliminate as many as possible.
The Punisher is incredibly mentally disturbed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But at the same time, he's not outright crazy. He's just hyper fixated.
Crazy is such a loose term, but
he's not insane.
Not enough of the screws.
He's not insane.
Not enough of the Punisher's screws are in tight enough. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
If you walk around with a van with a projectile gun list, like a catalog that could launch to your location.
Yeah, let's just say, like, at the very least, we can say he's not that far gone enough to the point where he can be admitted to Arkham. Let's just put it like that.
Okay.
So like he's definitely like not all there, but it's like he's still got some sanity there.
Well, think of Blade, right? He's kind of the same setup. He goes to the city, he has weapons, and he goes and kills vampires. Imagine you weren't a vampire hunter and you just hunted villains. You just hunted bad guys, and you had a
part of it is Blade that he is also half vampire. It doesn't have any of the weaknesses. That's what makes it easy for him specifically.
Oh no, I'm not saying his powers are against him or anything like that. That's part of his character. That's fine. But,
yeah, that's part of his shtick.
Yeah,
I think the issue comes from Batman is able to actually take a moral high ground a lot of the time with stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of these other characters can't actually. So I think the thing is with the no kill rule is people use it, people don't. But the main idea is he doesn't kill.
Yeah.
And that's it. But I think the issue is with this is Batman doesn't kill, and Razor Fist is annoyed because it made him more popular than the Shadow.
I guess I don't know. He's just angry that his little.
Although let it be known that the infamous like 10-year world tour for all of his training and stuff, it does help. It does go a long way to explain how and why Bruce came to the conclusion of having the no kill rule by the time he actually became Batman.
Alrighty.
That like his whole decade of training did play a big role in the no kill rule being established for him in his mind.
All right.
Family member and forces Batman to make an unwinnable choice to free them scenario, and there are honestly asshats residing under the yellow sun who still insist the no-kill policy is there to avoid narrative repetition. Bitch, you could be cruising past the Dallas Book Depository in a top-down convertible with a target shaved in the back of your Marilyn Monroe murdering meth-addicted dome and still have a better shot at dodging that bullet.
Back and to the left. Back and to the left. Back and to the left.
Joker's got a 12-gauge pressed to the base of Batgirl's gun, lose the utility belt, lock and load, and end this a-hole. In the Shadow Batman crossover, it took Lamont Cranston all of 4 comic panels.
Hang on, can we not with this double speed thing because it's really
that's what I was saying. Yeah, that's what I was saying, Smud. Can you slow it back down because he's actually getting into Batman stuff now?
All right.
4 panels before he gave the Joker a .45 caliber facial. What in fully erect bat nipples are you waiting for, Bruce? Of course, critics of this approach invariably rejoice if we Control-Alt-Delete a deleterious dickbag while we're no better than they are. To which I can only reply, exactly, bringing us all one step closer to absolute equity. Think of it not as...
Yeah, that's the problem. That's exactly the problem Batman wants to avoid. It's like because him and others are better than the criminals of Gotham. And the criminals of the world, for that matter. Which is why if he lets go, we're fucked. Like Whisp said earlier.
Take retard's life, but rather the redistribution of death. Why would you stand in the way of progress, comrade? Worse still, as the stakes of actual reality intrude on the fantasy of superheroes, the no-kill rule goes from merely eye-rolling to making the comics and their adaptations increasingly irrelevant. Look.
No, they're not irrelevant. Why would people still reading Batman and watching Batman nowadays? And I would argue all of them,
Batman.
all of the modern past 20 years, the Nolan trilogy, etc. The no-kill rule has always been there. So why is that? Why is that attractive?
People brought up the issue of Batman v Superman with how much he killed people.
I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I'm trying to remember. Oh, those are so bad films.
He shot a flamethrower and blew someone up.
The fight scene, right, okay.
Yeah. People obviously complained about that.
The only good...
I would say the no-kill rule isn't a rule that you've got to go by. It's just the main idea of Batman. You can have versions of Batman that kill people. No one's out there protesting Batman 89 because he killed people in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was ultimately still a good story.
Yeah. People complained about Ben Affleck's Batman killing people because it was a terrible story.
Yeah. No, the Batman v Superman, that was probably the only really memorable part of that film was the Batman scene in the warehouse. So did he actually kill people? I don't remember. He must have.
Oh,
yeah, he did.
Yeah, he knocked a grenade out of.
Oh yeah.
His hand that blew up, and then he shot that guy with a flamethrower.
Right.
Because Zack Snyder didn't understand the Dark Knight Returns at all. He just saw a few panels and went, "Okay, I'll do that."
Yeah.
Because in Dark Knight Returns, he shoots one of the mutants. Is it in the shoulder or something to rescue a kid?
Yeah.
And so Zack Snyder went, "Oh, obviously he's going to shoot to kill." Then it's like, no.
No, that wasn't the point of that scene in the novel.
Yeah, but he doesn't kill anyone in the book. I know that.
Because that's part of the point. That's part of the point he wants to prove in the novel, all the way up to when he meets Superman.
Zack Snyder comes from a school of action movie where everybody instantly dies by a grazed bullet unless it's a main character who gets shot right in the heart or the head, and then can give a 30-minute monologue.
Right, and people argue that the death of the Joker was directly as a result of Batman. You could say, yes, he broke his spine or something like that, but he wasn't dead.
Even Batman, what was it? What did he say? All the people I've killed by letting you live and everything, before he snapped his neck. But he still didn't do it to kill him. As in, he doesn't actually kill him. He's still just
Wasn't it to leave him paralyzed?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he actually did.
Then the Joker finishes the job off and snaps his own neck.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Society reflects its fictitious heroes, at least the ones that actually resonate. James Bond was a panacea for his paranoid Cold War era readership, the shadow and unbending agent of vengeance during the destitution of the Depression. So what does it say about the contemporary cultural utility of Batman? That he refuses to end a mass murderous clown in a world where communist China will give you a gulag goodbye for spitting on a sidewalk. DC writers, editors, and fantards call him the Punisher or the Shadow's Justice overly harsh. In a world where boning your boyfriend in Saudi Arabia ends in an Owen Hart high dive off the roof of the Burj Khalifa makes modern Batman look outdated and downright quaint by comparison. Bloviate and bellyache all you like.
Yeah, but they're still making films and they're still making games and movies and comics.
Yeah, and all of with Batman that have the no kill rule, and they're still
right.
They're not breaking bag about it.
What does Middle Eastern laws have to do with Batman not killing anybody?
I'm questioning that too. It's like, why are you bringing this up?
What does communist China have to do with Gotham City?
Don't bother.
What? No, but okay. What am I meant to do with that information? Yes, in the Middle East, they throw gays off of roofs. Excellent. So why is Batman's no kill rule? Cardiff.
Yeah.
What? Could he throw gays off of roofs as well? Is that what you're saying, Razor?
Apparently, heroes have to kill. If they don't kill, they're not heroes. I don't dude. What's wrong with heroes who don't kill? Is there something inherently wrong with that? If you are so good at fighting that I have a million ways to stop a guy and I choose the hardest method, which is to keep them alive or whatever, how is that bad? Because to me, that sounds like a very interesting story of like a James Bond character who has a license to kill. He's got all these ways of killing someone and he decides not to, and he has to choose the hardest path to get there. I think that's a how do you write that story? You have to know how to kill someone, right? Okay. Mm-hmm. Then you have to talk to a military guy. You have to talk to a policeman. You have to talk to someone who knows about death and killing. And you say, what if you didn't kill them? How would you stop that guy? Like, holy shit.
Also, Also, I'd like to point out as well that killing someone is against the law, right?
Yeah, I know.
So if Batman kills somebody, he has to be arrested. Otherwise,
What? It's illegal? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
yes.
In what state?
I don't know how to like explain this to people, but the Shadow would be arrested for killing other people. Punisher would be arrested for killing all these people.
Well, yeah. So, like, he's railed against over it every other week. But Punisher is. It's like, as much as I myself am a fan of Punisher, I am not blind to that fact.
Yeah. So this is the issue. So Batman goes, listen, I'm all about justice and vengeance and all this sort of stuff. But I've got to go by the law because the city that I'm in is absolutely corrupt and I'm trying to change it. If I just act corrupt, then why should I bother changing the city?
Yeah, just kill all the legislators. Just get rid of all the council and just, make sure no one ever commits a crime ever again by killing them. There you go. Like, this is not...
Also, I will say one thing. People giving the Joker the chair, you have to remember that like the death sentence isn't universal in America. So horrible murderers get away with like life sentences. It's just the fact that Joker breaks out of prison all the time because he's a master criminal in a world full of the craziest people in a corrupt system. Like there's a lot of people in the Gotham police force that want to arrest Batman.
Yeah,
and they're looking for any excuse. Like even at the new Batman adventures, when Batgirl gets the Scarecrow hallucination. I know it's like all that, but he thinks that if Batman gets accused of, being at fault, like Commissioner Gordon will send the entire Gotham police after him. And stuff. And there's been numerous stories where the minute that they think Batman's done something wrong, the police go after him.
Yeah, there's also Mask of the Phantasm.
Yeah, Mask of the Phantasm, yeah.
Where excluding Gordon because he never figured Batman actually did it, but the point still stands.
Yeah. So also, in some stories, with Batman being a vigilante, the police are after him anyway because being a vigilante is illegal.
What? Nobody told me that.
Yeah, and that's part of the whole thing with with Arkham Origins and in that continuity where they establish that explicitly as part of the plot.
Yeah,
this changes everything. How am I to deal with all the corrupt people now?
What was it? Even in the show The Batman, the first couple of seasons are about him still trying to arrest him for being a vigilante.
Yep.
So
it's like, and there are versions that make it clear. It's like, despite how good of a Commissioner Gordon is and how much he's cleaned house at the police department, that's like there are still plenty of corrupt cops from the old system, for lack of a better term.
Even in The Dark Knight Returns, Batman comes back and the new commissioner comes in and goes, "We're going to arrest him."
Yeah.
So
it's like the moment Gordon leaves,
Yeah. Oh. But anyway, let's all talk about the Shadow because the Shadow is such an interesting character. Come on, guys. Let's all talk about the Shadow.
Reality is undeterred by your tism. Look, we're not losing a cancer cure here. You're not unceremoniously pruning a freshly bloomed
I take
sunflower.
offense to that.
You're scraping a shit bag off the sapient sidewalk so no one else has to step in it. In my experience, the only even remotely well-argued rejoinder advocates of no-kill Batman advance is the assertion that Batman's motive for being anti-murder vengeance is more deeply rooted and psychological. A counter-argument that I'd note distilled to its witless essence still amounts to his mom and dad got, ergo often anyone is off limits.
Maybe it just makes sense that a boy, a highly trained, highly intelligent boy, who is so traumatized...
What's the Shadow's reasoning for all the stuff that he does? Does anyone know?
The Razor Fist likes it, therefore it's okay.
But what's the reason the Shadow does all the things that he does?
I am not familiar enough with the Shadow. I
I'm
only
trying
know
to
that the
remember.
comic is vastly different from the weird Samuel L. Jackson movie.
What? The weird Samuel L. Jackson movie.
I remember that Samuel L. Jackson plays the villain. That's all I remember from it. And as one guy in our IC channel back then, he actually liked the Shadow, and he ranted on how it's not at all like the comics.
Anyway, go ahead and Hawk and tell us for those unaware.
Yes.
Oh, I have no idea. I was actually asking a question. I'm now looking it up. So...
No idea.
So my reaction was correct then. Thank you.
Anyway, we can keep going.
It's by his parents' death that he has spent his entire life torturing himself.
Correction. Thank you, Tyler Preston, in the chat. That was the spirit, not the shadow.
Oh, yeah, the spirit.
Fucking hell. It's all the fucking same.
Emotionally and physically, so that no boy can ever witness what he witnessed, so that no boy can ever feel the pain he feels every moment of every day. Maybe it just makes sense that that boy man, that Batman, would never take a life. Criminals have children, the goons he murders on screen have children. What sense does it make for a victim of trauma to enact that same trauma onto others?
Is the argument reductive? No. The value of the dollar is reductive. This is a stupidity souffle.
Oh yes, that was a bad argument. Yeah.
But the logic still tracks though.
Yes
like,
and no.
Yeah.
Because the villains so if you kill the psychotic weirdo that goes around killing people, you are not traumatizing anybody of relevance by killing that guy. Because that guy is just gonna go around and traumatize more people. While any single person who cares about that guy, the psychotic serial killer, is probably insane as well and needs at least therapy. And even the Buddhists would take out the serial killer. While that gives you bad karma because you kill somebody, it would give you more bad karma if you let him go around and kill people. And if the only way to stop him is to kill him, then you must do that. If taking him into custody, that is preferable because then you're not killing him. But if he keeps breaking out of custody, I'm sorry, you're running out of options. And even the Buddhists will then say, well, sorry, kind of have to. And if the Buddhists are on the side of taking out the Joker, Batman is better than the Dalai Lama.
All right.
On that note.
We have, 3 minutes left? About? Yeah, 3 minutes. Okay.
Yeah, the insanity.
I could eat cereal and 9 hours later literally shit a better argument. Look, you can piss and preachify about the entrenched trauma of witnessing any murder, let alone seeing the Wayne's brains being ventilated. But if, before the gun could clear leather, the Punisher or Shadow had sashayed in a frame and gone no chill on Joe Chill, I bet 9 blocks of Bolivian nose candy and adolescent Bruce Wayne would be just traumatized enough to do a celebratory cartwheel through his brain matter. No kill Batman is bad. Even when it works, it only ever does so in spite of itself, often due to the thankless exertions of writers entirely too talented to be authoring apologia for such a laughably inane concept.
It's not laughably inane. People like it for...
I do apologize that good writers do Batman stories. I guess they all couldn't get that expensive Shadow job.
Yeah, the past few decades have proven that Batman is not only the most popular comic book character in the world, at least in the Western world, it has continuously been put on the silver screen in other formats. There are reasons why we like the guy who has the resources, has the time, has the intelligence, and the dedication. He will never stop trying to solve a problem, and that involves not killing. Which is, yes, another difficulty on top of that, but that's what makes it compelling. How is he going to do it? The same way we watch a heist movie. How are they going to get out of this scenario that they didn't plan for? How is James Bond going to get out of this scenario that he's trapped in? Is he going to use a gadget? Is he going to charm someone? Is he going to break the lock? I don't know. These are all the reasons why we watch these films and read these stories. This is not hard to grasp. It's very obvious. There's lots of scenes in memorable movies over the years we've watched, and we know why we like them. This adds an element to the character, obviously, of Bruce and why he is the way he is. And yes, it is an unnecessary amount of difficulty he's putting on himself. But that is his MO. That is what causes him to be the Batman. That is what causes him not to pick up a gun ever. I think he does touch them, but he doesn't like using them. And he mentions how there's the power involved in them. It's so seductive. It's easy to do that, but he doesn't like it. It scares him sometimes.
In several versions, we know that as part of his 10-year training, he learned the ins and outs of firearms, specifically to make sure that he knows how to disarm, how to dismantle them on the field.
So this is not a thing he can't do. We know he can do it. He's been trained in it. He's told us I can easily do this and I can never stop and no one can stop me. And we're like, yeah, you're a demon. We know that you're going to keep going.
There are so many times where Bruce himself has said that if I cross that line, I will never come back. Especially in Under the Red Hood. He says it himself when he confronts Jason.
And the beautiful thing about that scene, they didn't have to do this, but he actually stops the gun by throwing one of his batarangs at it and hitting the barrel. Like, you have to understand how ridiculous a shot that is. That only the Batman can do it. He's like,
only after Jason gave him the no-win scenario, because someone's gonna die tonight. And Bruce just said, no one will die.
That is crazy. That is what we expect Batman to... Someone can do the impossible. That's Batman. So if not killing is a thing, Batman can do it. That's the idea. And you could argue, prep time, he knows the psychology of the Joker, and he knows all the scenarios.
But even with that, he has had years and decades to build up to that point. It didn't come out of nowhere.
Oh no, this is all
earned that.
This is why we like this idea of this not immortal, but this frozen in time sort of character who's been around and seen everything and trained for every scenario and knows what to do.
He's a veteran.
I don't know how to characterize him because he's just done everything that anyone can imagine.
I would say the best thing, the best label would be veteran, because he's just been at it for so long. He just knows the ins and outs. Yeah,
it's hard to properly explain how he can do what he can do, but that's what we like about this man of all expert. He's the master of all these things. That doesn't make any sense to us because we can't fathom going through that 10 years of training of doing everything. Anyway, it's easy to like this character. There's lots of reasons, but apparently Mr.
But now
Rageaholic doesn't.
Now he's complaining that Batman gets two good writers to write for him, write the comics and stuff. It's like, yeah, okay, some really good writers write for Batman. That's great. Why is that a bad thing?
Is he talking about Frank Miller or a certain writer? Or?
It's like, they're just like, they're demeaning themselves by doing this. It's like, are they? Okay.
Are you sure about that?
Okay.
Can we take a vote?
I mean, it's like, did Paul Dini demean himself when he wrote God knows how many animated series episodes or even Arkham City? Really?
Yeah. I remember J. Michael Straczynski writing She-Ra and Master was it Master of the Universe, or did he write Captain Power?
You mean the old one?
From the 80s? Yeah, he did all these kids shows.
Yeah.
Like, is JMS a bad writer? Writers...
Well, the one from back then, at least not.
Well, I mean, good writers take whatever gig they can start off with. I think that's normal. And then once you have the ability to write your own work, you get that freedom.
Even then, you don't. If someone goes, I'm going to give you £1 million to write a Batman story, they go, yeah, but I'd rather get 20 quid doing a Shadow story, mate.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine getting hired to write Batman? You know how crazy that would be?
Like, motherfucker, we have Heart of Ice because of someone like Paul Dini. And that story single-handedly redefined Mr. Freeze from that point on. I'm just like, don't you talk to me about like someone demeaning themselves by writing Batman or any kind of fiction like that. Come on.
But anyway.
Joker, could I look at my Lord and Creator in the eye, flip the switch, and end his overplayed existence for the mere act of being an unrepentant multi-murderer?
See, here's the thing, though. If Batman arrests the Joker and then he gets sentenced to death and someone gives him the electric chair, is that Batman killing somebody?
I wonder if there would be a storyline. Yeah, if there's a storyline where the laws of Gotham City or the state that Gotham's in will say, okay, after 50 murders or whatever, you're gonna get sent to the death penalty. Batman, knowing that, would he still do that to criminals? Put them in?
Yeah, because it's the law.
Yeah,
he doesn't care that they get sent away to life in a mental institute or life in prison.
Well, there's been times where Batman has specifically requested that villains be sent to Arkham specifically, but even then, there is clearly a limit to that.
Yeah.
But he also sends people like Black Mask to Blackgate, which is just a prison.
Yeah.
So he's not picky where they get sent to. He just hands them over to the police, and then he goes like, "Well, you deal with it. I've done my bit."
Yeah.
But then again, that's the thing of you're now getting to the part where you're going like, yeah, if Joker gets sentenced to the electric chair, why does Batman have to be the one to flip the switch? Why? It's like, okay, we know you could do it, Razor. Okay, but yeah, does the officer that arrests a criminal, is he the same person that flips the switch? I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what Kevin Smith was saying about one of the comics he was reading about some writer, and it came down to the Batman that I would know would say, "You're going to jail." Like he would never have someone at their mercy and kill them. He would always be like, "No, we're following the rule of law. I'm just physically stopping you from causing more crimes because the police can't do it." So
yeah, at most, sometimes he would take a criminal to Blackgate or Arkham himself. When, mind you, that's him doing that with the Joker kicks off the entire Arkham series, but that's a whole other thing.
Yeah, but then that's also involving the corruption of the system that he's trying to stamp out.
Yeah.
All right, we got a super chat from Mr. Axton Zero. Thank you, sir. One could say that Batman is so selfish he can't be a hero, willing to sacrifice the well-being of his loved ones and thousands, potentially billions, to prove his belief that criminals can change. I think that's part of it. I think it's most to do with him.
That's also our system.
Well,
that's the entire justice system of the West.
Well, you could say the judiciary, you could say the legislation, you could say the police, you could say the jails, you could say Arkham. There's a few levels to that, and I would just say that Batman believes in in Gotham as a whole, so that it involves all that. So if there's a problem, he will go investigate and figure that out to make sure it's okay.
I also like to point out that numerous times in numerous stories, it's shown criminals being reformed, and stuff like the famous one is the security guard at Wayne Tower being the next criminal. But Batman's helped him out because he helps out the lower. It's like Batman's rules go for everybody. It's not just his rogues gallery. It's like even the thugs and stuff. He's like, no, I'm not going to kill anybody. You can all change, and numerous of them do. It's just the fact that Gotham's a cesspit. So
yeah.
All right, here's a great little super chat from Legacy. In case you guys don't know this little bit of lore. Fun fact: Batman was actually willing to kill the Joker after Jason's death. However, Superman stopped him because Joker became the ambassador of Iran.
To be fair, I'm pretty sure that was pre-Crisis. I'm pretty sure after Crisis on Infinite Earths, that detail was changed.
This was So the death of Jason Todd, right? So that was the death.
Yeah, because in the original Death in the Family story, it's like Jason Jason was captured by the Joker in Iran. That's why that with that detail. But the Iran thing, I'm pretty sure, was taken out after Crisis on Infinite Earths when the details for that changed.
All right, we were at.
Wow, it's almost like
it's like needless to say, there was plenty of lore reshuffling after Crisis. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Yeah. Okay, so we have almost 2 minutes left. Here we go.
No, I confess I couldn't. But for the crime of being every cringe lord's crap Halloween costume since 2008, for being more obnoxiously overused the phrase "my dude," and worst of all, for providing Jared Leto with 2 gainful paychecks, I'd end him with nipple clamps, a car battery, and a bucket of water. Not only should you kill the clown, you should put it on pay-per-view and sell front row splash seats replete with complimentary gore ponchos for $500 a pop. I can see it now. HBO.
People have said this is a video about why we don't kill is mentally retarded, and so far he's gone, I don't like it. Now he's talking about rightfully killing Jared Leto, but
What is going on here?
Why do I care about this clamping Jared Leto's nipples and not like shooting him to death with a car battery?
Okay.
I don't know what this is.
Also, my bad. To correct myself from earlier, it's like it was as a result of the lore reshuffling in Infinite Crisis, which was 20 years after. My bad.
20 years? That was like 2000 then.
Yeah, that was like early 2000s when Infinite Crisis happened.
I don't remember
Jason
that.
Jason officially came back in 2005 for Under the Red Hood.
Right. Okay. Whew.
And present A Coffin for a Clown, a 9-part snufferamic maxi series. It'd be the first thing I'd watched on that woke-divist wasteland of a network since Deadwood was canceled, and I assure you, my would be anything but. Whatever you do, DC, catch up with the culture already. How out of phase are they? Put it this way. Batman, advantage with full ninja training, more money than Tesla, and more tactical murder tech than John Wick's most fevered firearm foo fantasies, has killed fewer Jokers than the Olsen twins with a bottle of sleeping pills. Turn the Bat Tank into a killdozer. Stop modeling your moose knuckle for 8-year-old boy wonders and 80-year-old cat ladies, and kill the cringy clown already. Hell, why stop at the Joker? Kill Kiss for failing to release a decent
Didn't he already
record
do
for
that?
3 damn decades. Ascend the Golden Arches and rain death.
Do what?
I thought the Joker was killed. Was he unkilled again?
I don't remember.
Wasn't that the whole point of the Killing Joke?
Which? The book. Oh, I thought you meant the show.
No. Joker didn't die at the end of the book.
No. The animated thingy.
No, not that one either.
I thought he choked him to death.
No, the whole thing with that book, with the whole story as a whole, for the longest time, that people thought that Bruce killed Joker at the end of it. When no,
Dark Knight Returns.
Never did. That was in
the Killing Joke. The last panel has Batman put his hands onto the Joker's shoulder while they're both laughing, and then it just changes into one laugh, isn't it? People took
something like that.
Batman strangling the Joker when.
That's what a lot of people. Yeah, that's what a lot of people took out of it.
Yes, and I would believe that is the intended interpretation, because that's what that is how you artistically do that without saying it out loud. That is what I hate Americans for this very reason, that they, or at least Hollywood, because many Americans get these things. I hate Hollywood for doing these subtle things when something is actually good, and then afterwards they go, "Oh, by the way, it's actually not happened because we didn't actually say it." It's just cop-outing and legalese bullshit.
Well,
Joker died at the end of that. End of story. And it's an okay end. You can still tell millions of stories that happened before that.
Oh, but this is the joys of comic books. There's not just one canon. I was going to say, about the story where Joker, Gingerman, you'll know this, when he cuts his face off. Everything.
Don't remind me.
Isn't there like right at the end where they both like kill each other pretty much?
I think so.
Yeah.
But I know the whole thing with killing Joker is the fact that it is part of Prime Earth continuity, and Joker does come back in later stories, and Barbara does become Oracle afterwards. So,
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say that that's the joy of comic books. It's specifically Marvel and DC who do this. There's tons of other comic book publishers in the US and outside that have normal stories going on, and they find an end, and if it is after 50 collector's volumes with 300 volumes inside, but they do come to an end. Like Spawn, as random as it will eventually end.
It's amazing that Batman's got all of these different plot lines and publishers. Who doesn't have any publishers? The Shadow.
Anyway,
what's with the copyright of the Shadow? Is that going to run out at some point?
Oh, you mean
public domain?
Well, if it's public domain, then Razor can go and make a Shadow comic. That is amazing.
I'll double check just.
Yeah, I think he's got another 10, 20 years at least. Yeah.
I don't think so, because I think it's 1930 odd. Or 31. When it first came out. So I think it's quite.
Is it 70 years or not? I can never remember. Is it 95? There's always some stupid number.
I think at this, the last time it was extended, it was 95 years. Jeez.
Yeah. So
I think if it is 95 years, I think it is like this year or next year that the Shadow becomes public domain.
Oh well, we'll see if he gets into his later.
Yeah, I mean, I can't wait for Razorfist to take over the Shadow and pump out billions of dollars.
All kinds of radio dramas. Yeah, he's gonna voice act the Shadow.
Whatever.
One man act. Anyway,
it's gonna be great.
Importantly, spike the Fago at an ICP concert and commence the Juggalo genocide. Just think, you can end the war on poverty, the war on welfare, and the war on drugs in a single evening. I'm Razor.
Oh, we were done.
Did you just say about killing the poor?
I don't know.
Is that how he's ended?
It's hard to follow him, honestly. He talks so quickly.
He went off. He went. You could end the war on drugs, poverty, and welfare. I'm like, what, by killing one clown? Or do you mean just killing all the poor people?
Anyway, let's see.
He sounds like a Labour MP. Have you tried killing the poor?
Good God.
God.
All right, here's some Batman from cartoons of Dan Piraro. All right. I'll have the Kung Pao chicken. Okay.
There you go. It's
we can agree to your client calling himself Batman, but not the Batman. And that's, of course, the vampire in the background.
That's Dracula, actually.
I assume, yeah. The Joker strikes again. What does he do?
The twist, the cap falling off the salt shaker.
Oh my God. We're going with a more realistic look. Oh.
Okay.
I suggest you pick just one, Mr. Wayne. But I like hats and unicorns.
I like bats and uniforms. And unicorns.
Early planning stages. Look at those pants.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Oi. To the Bat Horse, Batman, 1860.
Yeah, the Gotham by Gaslight Batman.
Oh yeah, all right. Well, not quite.
I guess.
Well,
that's the one that kind of makes sense for that.
All right, that was good. And here's Razorfist doing his thing.
No, you're not, Razorfist. Calm down.
Nobody cares about the Shadow. Yeah, pretty much. I'm going to say that. Yeah. I'm not. No offense to Razorfist. I'm sure it's a great storyline, but can we please stay on topic and just focus on what makes Batman a bad character, or bad story, or whatever? for not killing.
I'd like to point out that on a 90-minute video, 18.5 minutes were about the shadow.
Like, yeah, right? I was like, get on with it, man.
All right. Why, Batman? Why did you spare the Joker after all he's done? Listen, Robin, if you kill a killer, the number of killers still stays the same. What if I kill like 100 more killers? Oh, the Punisher. What?
Mr. West.
There is.
Rest in peace.
What do we got here? The giant tries to break the ever-tightening rope. A few moments later, he's probably better off this way. Oh, my God.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Now is that Batman's fault?
Yeah, those are some of the examples of, was it the 60s or the 70s where Batman did, in fact, kill?
No, that's
the 30s.
Yeah, Golden Age.
Never again will you harm any mortal being. Boom. But out of the sky, spitting death by Batman.
Yeah, these are all Golden Age panels.
Yeah. And who sent you, may I ask? We can't tell you. He'd kill us. Your choice, gentlemen. Tell me or I'll kill you.
Yeah.
He's got a gun.
And this is the gif of the freaking nostalgia credit card joke.
Yeah. All you ever hear.
Yeah, that pretty much sums up the video.
Here we go. Robin with a gun.
And I'm pretty sure this is Jason, too. Yeah, with Jason, if I remember correctly, with Jason specifically, he took the initiative and actually taught Jason about all this stuff. Yeah, and here's some of the older panels with Jason.
All right.
Oh, yeah, and this.
So Batman's teaching. Who's that? Is that Todd? Who is that?
No, it is. No, these are panels with Jason when he was Robin.
All right.
Yeah.
So guns, something with science, and something with computers. Who knows?
Yeah, because like Jason became Robin in like the early '80s, I think, like a little while before Crisis, actually.
The Great Islamic Republic of Iran. I don't understand why they did that with.
Yeah, this is how they were able to get away with like Batman not immediately responding to Jason's death against the Joker in the original Death in the Family. And like I said earlier, this was retconned in this was retconned post Infinite Crisis.
Okay.
By the time Under the Red Hood handled the details were shifted around so that it's like the bare bones of the original Death in the Family were still there, just not details like this.
Whew. Okay, that was. I wouldn't say that was painful. I just didn't hear half of it because he just kept going, and we sped it up so we didn't have to listen to it, which was nice. So yeah, no, half of that video was just him rambling about the Shadow for no reason. I could see why he did that. All he had to say was the Shadow started off, and Batman was a copy of the Shadow. I'm like, I agree, you're correct. And then he just kept going. You're like, dude, get to the point. Oi. All right. That was almost 2 hours, I would say. Around 2 hours. Whew.
Just shy.
Yeah. Not the best arguer. He just rambles. Not very helpful. He's angry. It's like, I get it. You like stuff. Just calm down and make your argument clear so we can understand you. And don't get angry at people for doing things you dislike. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Anyway, we might have some time because I'm snowed in. In case you don't know, we're in a huge snowstorm this past few days and it won't be letting up. I'm glad the power didn't go out. Everything's nice and toasty in here. So, but yeah, no, it's been pretty stayed at home all these past few days and probably on the weekend as well. I don't know what's going to happen. So I'm stuck either way. But maybe we can do some videos more tomorrow. I don't know. We may have some time tomorrow. We'll find out. Anyway. Thanks, guys, for popping in. That was pretty fun. I mean, for what we made of it, Everything else was kind of bleh.
I was going to say the video was not fun.
No, no, that was painful. It was
if you should visit like a mental health center, there'd be numerous suicides.
I sped it up so we didn't have to watch most of it. That was pretty good. Which doesn't say much for the video, but still. What we did understand was like, oh, dear.
I think the issue is when Razorfist talks, he's only got like 2 or 3 points, but he interjects with ridiculous, not puns, what would you say? Silly like one-liners, but
they're analogies, yeah.
Yeah, analogies, yeah, but just are quite not on topic either.
No, they're over.
Tales of how amazing he is.
Yeah, here's my vocabulary. Here's an analogy of comparing some pop culture reference to this thing, but I'll make it dirty or swear about it. You know, that's his thing. So yeah, you have to like that kind of humor.
It's like, you can just say like, oh, the Shadows is popular as a group of choir boys at the local Vickers meeting. They're done, sorted. That's his level of humor, and it's like, okay.
Yeah, not for everyone. I think we grew out of that 10 years ago. I can't remember how long he's been on the air, but
yeah, I went through puberty, so I grew out.
All right. Well, thank you guys for the video. We might do some more this weekend if we have the time, and then hopefully the power's still on. But we will talk to you guys later. Have yourself a great evening. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.